Every single day, your brain processes roughly 35,000 decisions, creating a relentless flood of data that often leads to cognitive overload. When forced to process that much information without a system, the default response is to guess. That impulse explains why 90% of retail traders lose money and 90% of startups collapse. These failures happen when we substitute actual reality with inherited assumptions. We let fleeting emotions drive choices instead of grounded logic. Yet a small group of people navigate this exact same chaos and consistently succeed. Investors like Warren Buffett rely on mental models, repeatable systems used to navigate complex environments. Exceptional success follows a specific process, abandoning raw instinct in favor of structured logic. Most people rely on analogy-based thinking, copying what already exists and doing things simply because they have always been done that way. When Elon Musk began building rockets, the industry standard for a single launch was $80 million. He refused to accept that price as an unchangeable fact. Instead, he used first principles. He ignored the finished product and broke the entire problem down into its foundational physical truths. This deconstruction revealed the actual components of a rocket: aluminum, titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. The raw material cost for these elements is only 2% of the total price. By sourcing and assembling those materials directly, he brought the cost of a rocket down by 90%, creating a new economic reality for the aerospace industry. You can apply this deconstruction to personal barriers. If you feel lazy, strip the emotion away and look at the physical mechanics. Check for a sleep deficit, a diet high in refined sugar, or a vitamin B12 deficiency. First principles thinking removes the stories we tell ourselves and turns monolithic barriers into solvable equations. The second tool is inversion. This is the process of solving a problem by looking at it entirely backwards. Consider a king who built a heavily fortified fortress to protect his realm from invasion. To test his defenses, the king didn't ask his guards where the walls were strongest. He offered a reward to anyone who could break in, forcing people to find the hidden vulnerabilities he couldn't see. This logic also solves the puzzle of the lifelong champion. To find a sport won by the same person at age 20 and 85, you simply eliminate any game requiring speed or stamina. That leaves games of logic, like checkers. Billionaire Charlie Munger used this model to ensure his long-term financial survival. Instead of asking how to get rich, Munger identified the exact habits that lead to poverty, like impulse spending, high-interest debt, and single points of failure, and systematically removed them. By identifying and eliminating the known paths to failure, success becomes a matter of logic rather than chance. Even with clear logic, our minds are vulnerable to daily fatigue and emotional friction. These factors can easily derail long-term consistency. Jeff Bezos used a formal system to overcome the fear of leaving a stable Wall Street job to start Amazon. This is the regret minimization framework. He mentally projected himself to age 80, looking back to see past the fear of losing a bonus. He asked one question: will I regret not taking this risk? If yes, the choice was made. You can automate wealth building with the 50-30-20 rule. This framework splits income into needs, wants, and savings the moment you are paid, removing the need for daily willpower. Frameworks take high-stakes choices, add as the emotional brain, and turn them into a predictable, repeatable process. These concepts form a unified system. First principles deconstructs the problem, inversion tests the vulnerabilities, and frameworks automate the solution. Relying on instinct alone leaves you exposed to the same impulse-driven patterns that lead to startup failures and chronic financial loss. Adopting these models shifts the focus from following traditional rules to analyzing the actual mechanics of a situation. Start today. Pick one goal you currently view as impossible and strip it down to its base truths. Then take a persistent problem and use inversion. Write down exactly which actions would make that problem worse. Stop allowing daily impulses to dictate your path and begin actively engineering your results.